You might be here with your Sunday formulator race of the day. We're going down to Gulfstream Park for the 9th race. It's the Grade 3 Herecomesthebride Stakes. 9 furlongs on the turf course for 3-year-old fillies. We have a field of 9, and you know, as usual in these graded stakes races down in South Florida, you have to deal with Todd Pletcher horses, and he's going to have the favorite in this race in the number 2 Candy Kitty, who just won the Ginger Brew Stakes down here. It's interesting if you just look at Candy Kitty on paper, and she looks an awful lot like a lot of Todd Pletcher's horses. She was okay to start out her career up in New York. She didn't run terribly sprinting on the dirt in her first start. As soon as they put her on turf, it seemed like she picked up her game a little bit. She won a maiden race up at Saratoga a day when she just got, I mean, absolutely loose on the slowest of paces. You very rarely see a pace as slow as the one that she got loose on up at Saratoga to a half in 53 and 4, and they couldn't catch her through the stretch. She ran fine, and then they ran her in a couple of stakes races out of that, and she just didn't run well at all. I didn't think either time. Of course, none of that mattered once Todd got her down to Gulfstream Park. She really turned her game around, and she won a stakes race last time down here with an 82 buyer. You can look at the short comment for the stretch, for the race, that she was blocked through the stretch, and she was. All things considered, though, she got a perfect trip in there, sitting in behind the lead all the way. Edgar Prada, who was riding, took a look up the rail in the upper stretch. He couldn't get through, so he had to alter to the outside, but it worked out fine for her. And she was the best that day, and she got the job done. She's the favorite in this race. She's the horse to beat. I'm going to try and beat her like I try and beat, I feel like, just about all of Pletcher's horses down there. We'll see what happens. I felt like the most interesting horses to play against her with were towards the outside. Pletcher has another horse in this race, the 4 Seeking Her Glory, who's another speed and can be up close in here, but I just don't like her chances at all. So if I had to use only one Pletcher, it would be Candy Kitty, who feels like she's going to get another perfect trip in here, but I want to try and beat that horse, and I wanted to do it with one of the horses on the outside. Ultimately, I wound up picking it as my top pick in the race, the number 9, Room Service. And I did that mostly because I felt like Room Service might be the best price of those 3 horses. We'll see how that all shakes out. Room Service, there are a couple things to like about this horse. She obviously, if you just look at her on paper, hasn't done anything wrong in her life. She won first time out. She's been very close in each of her next 3 starts. Hasn't won any of them, but she's been very close. And I didn't think she got the greatest trips in the world in either of her last 2 starts. Especially last time in the Sweetest Chant. She was between horses for a very long way, all the way through the second turn in the upper stretch, and she just didn't look that comfortable in there. Like, she didn't want to be in and among horses. Once she got a little bit of breathing room through the stretch, she was running at the end, and I like that effort from her. And I really like the rider change that she's getting here to Joel Rosario. I feel like he could be more aggressive with her from an outside post. There's not a lot of pace in here. And I think if Joel gets a little more aggressive with her, he can put her up close, and maybe she works out a better trip this time. So I took her on top. I felt like the number 8, Hardly, Mark Henig's horse, is another horse that I would definitely use in any bets that I make, because she has a lot of ability as well. She doesn't have a lot of pace, and that concerns me because there's not a lot of speed in here. But if she can work out the right kind of trip, and she will be running at the end. She's been down towards the inside in the stretch in each of her last 2 starts, and that's not really ideal for horses who are trying to close. If she's outside and running at the end, I thought she could be dangerous. Candy Kitty, the 2, the Pletcher horse, yes, she's the horse to beat in the Herecomesthebride Stakes. I can't help myself but to try and beat this horse, who I just don't think is that good. I'm going to try and do it with number 9, Room Service. Good luck. You can bet this race with DRF bets, of course. The promotion going right now, a $125 sign-up bonus. You get free PPs, you get access to DRF Plus, all that good stuff with a membership to DRF bets. So you should sign up for that, and then you can bet the Herecomesthebride Stakes on Sunday, which is the formulator race of the day.